Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone is well. Wonderful day today at the markets. Hope everyone is well since we last did the analysis on Monday, and the markets have been moving. Remember, Monday it was very volatile, and basically the whole week has been volatile so far. We've seen yesterday gold falling more. I mean, today morning, earlier on today morning, after its drop on Monday. We've seen dollar index has been rising ever since we analyzed it, and yeah, those are the few things we've been looking at. We looked at on Monday. Dow Jones has also it fell the whole of Monday, then corrected between yesterday and today. So today we look at a few things. I'll look at dollar index, then I'll look at Aussie dollar and USDCAD. Then Ken will come and cover the rest of the pairs. So as usual, if you have any questions, you know what to do. Jump right into the chat room, ask your questions, and we'll be sure to answer you. So jumping straight into the charts, just looking at what we are looking at, what we have. We remember Aussie dollar I covered on Monday. I was looking for that drop. I took that short trade last week on Thursday, and so far it went well. It got to my target profit. We took those trades, that profit, and we came out. So now we're looking. Let's go straight into the charts, and we'll start with the dollar index so that we can look at what the dollar index is telling us. So I remember we looked at this also on Monday. So starting off with dollar index, what we're looking at, okay, so we can see we've been having this channel, we've been looking at it, market corrected over here for a long time, and then once we got this touch over here, market corrected, then we're sort of getting that push to the upside, sort of going to that trend line we're targeting over here, around 94.5 target is where we're looking at. So we remember we looked at this on Monday 1 week chart. We saw that trend line bounce, so this is what we were looking at. So if you remember well, on Monday we clearly covered this. We were looking at that first bounce. So this is what we have, and we know we do a lot of trend line, so we always follow the trend. So we had that one bounce, second bounce, and now we're looking for this third bounce over here. So long term, as long as we respect this trend line, I'm still very bullish on the dollar pairs. That means I'm looking for shorts on most of the dollar pairs. That's GU, EU, Aussie dollar, and such other pairs, and USD CAD longs. So for the moment, that's what we have on the weekly chart. Going to the daily chart, you can see we've already covered this. We've already looked at this channel, what I was just talking about. You can see we're breaking this boundary. We broke it yesterday. This level over here that acted as a liquidity level, market broke above it yesterday, and today market has been trading above it. So a good target is around 94.5, around this level, where market will come and touch the trend line for the third time if it is respected. If you go down to the 4-hour chart, for our chart, you can see I sort of have this pattern formation. So this is what I'm looking at. As I said, we've broken above this level that we broke yesterday. Yesterday market has been trending up above ever since we got this bullish momentum on Monday. And if you remember well, on the 1-hour chart, we covered this on Monday, looking at this level. So it was sort of on a sideways movement. Then we came and got this support over here, and market shot all the way up. We broke this level, corrected to touch it. Now I'm looking for a touch of this trend line. Okay, let me get rid of this. Just a sec. So I'm looking for a touch of this channel formation. So as usual, you know, I always say most of the time market is normally moving in a channel formation. So I'm looking for that target to touch this level over here, and then we get that sort of correction for a bit, maybe for the week, and then we continue looking for buys, maybe moving on into next week. So right now, if I go back to the 4-hour chart, same thing that I'm looking at, same target I'm looking at up here. So I'm looking for that touch of this level. If you're able to break above, then look for this touch of the trend line that we talked about on the daily chart. If this level is respected, then look for that correction, maybe down, before we go back up. So that's what I have on dollar index. Now moving on to Aussie dollar. I remember if I cover what we covered on Monday on the daily chart, just as a recap. I remember when we were talking about the shorts, it was around this level when I talked about market was failing to break above this level. So it was failing to break above this level. Market was just spiking, and then suddenly on Monday we got that strong drop, and also as well as yesterday, and today we've also been getting that drop. So we've seen these 3-day drops is what has been happening. So we were able to break below this channel formation. So we are out of this channel formation. The trend is now sort of useless, not really useful at the moment, but I'll keep the down one just in case market is able to go back and retest before we get those lower lows being formed. So you can see the market has come down, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low formation, so a basic trend line formation. However, if you go down to the 4-hour chart, you get to see we clearly broke. If you go down to the 1-hour chart, we can see market. This is where we got, this is the pattern we were looking at on Monday, where we got our shorts. This breakout retest is where we got our shorts. Market came, I was targeting this level, if I'm able to mark it for you. So this was my target level. Just a sec. So around this level over here, this was my target. This is where I came out. I banked about $100 on that trade, but you can see market continued moving further down to come and respect this channel. At first I didn't have that channel. I got this channel formation I think late yesterday is when I was forming it, when I was already out of the market, because I came out of this market on Monday evening during the New York session around 6 p.m. So you can see market has come down all the way down here. So currently I have a long position, so I'm really going against the hard. So I just have a long position. I'm looking for a short correction if market can correct back up to the upside, but that is quite a contrarian trade, because you can see on the daily chart, 4-hour chart, market is really falling strongly. So using proper risk management, I've taken that trade, looking for a push maybe back up to 0.200 around this level over here, looking for maybe that retest. So that's the trade I have running on Aussie dollar, just risking about 0.5% of my account. I'm not risking a lot, so that's what we look at when we're looking at risk management. So that is the trade I've taken this week. If I zoom in, I'm looking at these patterns over here that are forming this many spikes to the downside. If market gets that strong break to the downside, then I'll be coming out. I have my stops around 0.7080, so around 50 pips from this level over here. So that's what I'm looking at on Aussie dollar. If I go down to USDCAD, USDCAD has really been choppy. Daily charts, just start as usual, what we normally do. We came out of this trend line. We've been covering this trend line for the past many weeks. We came out of this trend line. You can see we had that breakout retest and market short all the way up to that level. So currently I shorted this pair yesterday morning. You can see this doji formation over here. So you can see this doji. I tried shorting the market over here, but market went up. I got a stop loss on that. If I go down to the 4-hour chart to show you more clearly, so you can see what happened basically. If you remember well, on Monday, was it last week, I talked about this channel, this blue channel that you're seeing here. So this channel, this whole region over here, market moved down, came up, got that touch over here, came down, got that touch, and then came back up. I don't know who's drawing on the screens. Just give me a sec. Give me a sec. Give me a sec. Cool. Sorry about that. I just got who's drawing and I was able to remove him. So sorry about that. Back into the charts. So what you're seeing over here, this is what I was looking at. First touch, second touch. So this third touch over here was looking for market at least to correct before we get that break, if we get that break. So I'm just following my system. As long as you follow your system and make a loss, that is fine. So what I was looking at, as quick as market came and touched this level, so around here on Monday, Monday, I took a short trade over here. Then you can see this spike came, this spike over here, and market stopped me out. Quickly I came out, but then I came again after market had closed back below this level. So you can see market hasn't really moved ever since we got that touch. If I go to the 1-hour chart, you're seeing up here is just a lot of sideways movement over here. But if you zoom it out and look at it clearly, you can see market is clearly in a channel formation. So you can see this is what I'm looking at. So market structure is what I'm normally looking at. You can see this push to the upside, had this sideways correction, market pumped to the upside, then sort of this correction yet again. So I'm looking for at least market to correct. I have a short position on this one. I'm targeting at least another touch of this level before market continues going back up, if the dollar will maintain its strength. So I'm taking sort of a contrarian trade with a little risk on this one. Also this one I have a 0.5 risk on this one. So if it goes against me, I think I'll lose about $50 on that. So that is a trade I'm looking at. So USD CAD, is what I'm looking at. And if you look at the market, if you use pivot points, they're at extreme levels. Using pivot points, you can see they're all at R3. This is USDCAD. If you go to Aussie dollar, it's way past that level, so past S3. So if you use pivot points, you can see it's broken that level. So I'm looking for that correction, at least for market to correct the remaining days of the week, this next 2 days. So that's all I have for you guys today. Ken will come and cover the rest of his pairs. I've covered the most of the pairs I look at. I only have those 2 trades, so I'm long Aussie dollar and I'm short USD CAD. And I'll be waiting at least to the end of the week to see how the market will pan out. I have a good risk reward ratio on that one, so I'll be holding the pairs. If it goes against me, fine and good, I'll take my loss. And because I'm really going against the trend, remember we're looking at dollar strength. There's a lot of dollar strength across the board. So that's all I have for you guys today. Then I'll leave the floor to Ken. He'll cover the rest of the pairs. Then I'll be seeing you guys on Friday. Cool.
So morning guys, hope you're doing well and hope you're making some money. So on Monday I shared a couple of setups. Most of them are working well, really well. So if you positioned yourself well, I think you should have made your money. So I was talking about gold going down, gold went significantly lower. I was talking about the Dow Jones sliding lower, it went significantly lower. And today I'm talking about probably oil sinking lower. Gold will keep on sinking lower. I've not changed my view. I think the Dow is also going to sink lower. I'll show you why I think that will happen. The dollar will keep getting stronger, but I'll get into the specifics of the charts once I start breaking them down. So I'll just go directly into sharing my screen. So gold, this was a perfect setup that we were talking about, and I talked about why gold was supposed to go lower from a weekly perspective, from a long-term perspective, and I still think gold has some downside potential. So if you never came in at 1950, 1925, 1900, 1880, 1875, we're now at 1875. Honestly, I think the risk-reward ratio at this point is quite bad, because this market is likely to face some strong support at 1835, 1850 zone. So we're only about 400 pips from where we currently are. Gold is quite volatile again, so if you're trading this market, prepare for some volatility. So in the event that it moves against you, you may have to place your stops so wide for you to make money out of this trade. That makes it a bad setup if you are not already in. It would even be wise to wait for this bounce and probably buy back to 1925, expecting another collapse lower. Anyway, I won't go into the specifics of what will be happening later. So currently you can see markets are sliding lower, so we are looking for 1875, 1850 ultimately. So only about 250 pips from where we currently are. So probably 1850 will hold. Once 1850 holds, markets will start coming back higher. But again, this is a trade for next week, probably even late next week. So this trade is done. I think if you never made your money earlier on, this was a perfect setup all the way to 1885. If you never exited here, this is another chance to exit. If you never came in here, forget about this setup, wait for the next opportunity in the markets. So that's my outlook on gold. Next, I look at oil. I think here there is an opportunity for the markets to keep moving lower. So on the daily chart, we have a very beautiful pattern information. So we had the first decline on oil, then we had this pullback, and it looks like another decline is in place. So if today we get this bearish continuation sending us lower, you could see oil visiting $35 mark. On the 4-hour chart, we're trading at the central pivot zone, so here there is fair value. Probably if markets come back above 40.5, then markets could rally again to 42, 42.5. However, if markets fail to go above 40.5, which I think won't happen, then probably we could see this downward move all the way to $35 a barrel. So that's what I'm watching on oil. On the hourly chart, there isn't much, so I've just marked the levels which I'm watching where I don't expect markets to visit, and if markets don't visit some levels, then I will still stick to my short position. So this is one of the positions that I have, a very good risk reward ratio of about 1:4, and I think markets will come back lower to $35 a barrel. Let's wait for New York oil. Most of the moves will happen during that time, and then we'll see how to position ourselves. The next thing that I look at is Dow Jones, which I think is a beautiful setup again here. So on the daily chart, we've just broken out of a very crucial level. So I brought back my major levels because I noticed I'd misplaced them and I was missing some crucial things. So you can see I had a slight from 29,000 to 27,000. I still think we'll slide low at least to this level, so 26,200, 26,500, 300 zone. So that's the level I'm looking for. Currently markets are pulling back. I have a beautiful pattern again on the lower time frames. So on the 4-hour chart I have this channel, so I'm watching this channel. Probably will get a third bounce at 27,800, 27,650. On the hourly, however, I have a concise channel, so if this channel is not broken, I'll be looking to short at the 27,500 mark. And if I go down to the 15-minute time frame, I think this is a perfect setup because this level now aligns with this level. So 25,565, that's where I'm looking to come in short. Probably this will coincide with the start of New York session, so I think for the day this move is actually over. So if this London pushes us all the way to 27,562 at 3:30 or 4, I'll be looking to come in short, and I think I'll be shorting this one heavily, especially if we get a follow through. So this is my favorite trade actually. So this is the one that I'm really watching to make some money, and then I'll be done for the week. So I think those are the three main setups I'm watching. I don't have anything else on my watch list. If those three fail, then I'll be looking to trade next week because that's what I have on my watch list. So if there's any question, I'll try and answer the questions. If there are no questions, then I'll leave it at that, and probably we'll meet on Friday. So I don't see any question on the chat room. Yeah, so there are no questions. I think I've covered what I had, and I think I'll stop there. So we'll see you guys next time on Friday, and we'll be looking at what happened in the several setups that we have shared with you guys. So see you guys later.